I'm really hot and it's like it's getting worse. At first it feels really comfortable, you start to fall asleep, you feel calm, but then the heat starts to increase until it turns into a human sauna. And right now I feel like I'm melting, but I can't move or scratch my face. 1, because my hands can't reach, and 2, because I have a bunch of hot herbs, and if I move I could get burned, but I feel relief in my back right now.
Since I turned 30, I've realized that every day I live with constant pain, and it's still the same today. Instead of addressing the problem thoroughly, I've resorted to a series of temporary remedies like pills, ointments, and massages. But after talking with my dad, I came to the conclusion that this isn't a way to live. And the thing is, he's had chronic back and neck pain his whole life. He said that doesn't seem like quality of life to him, and that if he had the chance to do things differently, he would have done it many years ago. So, taking advantage of the fact that I live in China and have access to traditional Chinese medicine with more than 5,000 years of history, starting today, I am going to visit a Chinese doctor every day until I find a solution for my back problems. And so that you can also see how the medical system works here and what options are available for those of us who, like me, suffer from chronic pain every day. To start our adventure, we came to a hospital that is near my house. This is neither the best nor the most famous one. I wanted to start with what's nearby and available, or I'd keep putting it off. And unlike many others, this isn't a planned video, I was just editing videos at my desk. And as always, my back started hurting unbearably and I didn't even know what position to sit in anymore. And then I said, you know, it doesn't make any sense to be here editing videos when I can't even handle my day-to-day life. The first step is going to be to have a consultation with a professional doctor, because before starting with traditional or alternative treatments, I want to know what I have. And they'll probably have to do x-rays to rule out hernias or any misalignment of the vertebrae. I have no idea, but we're going to start with a consultation with a doctor, what we would call Western medicine. We're already on the 5th floor, which is traumatology, which by the way is called Gook. The only problem is that since this is a more local hospital, it's not well adapted to services for foreigners. And to make a reservation, you absolutely need a Chinese social security card or a Chinese identification. But that doesn't mean they can't help you, because you can come to the counter and they'll make the appointment for you with your passport. The problem is you can't schedule the appointment ahead of time. I'm going. Hello, I'm here for traumatology.
What hurts?
My back. This is my name. To register, you have to give your passport. I have 4 names for them, or they're too long, so they always lose them. Every time I come, I have to register again. But we're number 2.
Maximiliano Carrera, please go to consulting room 502.
Hello, doc.
What hurts?
I've had back pain for a while.
Which part?
Here, and it's like the muscle got stuck under this bone. I feel like something is pressing under this bone, and the second is the cervical vertebra from here to here. Does it hurt when I press here?
Does it hurt if I press?
No.
When does it hurt then?
After working for a while, and I noticed that if I do this, it relieves me a little.
Does raising your arms bother you?
No, I don't think so. I suspect that my pain comes from playing football. I frequently took hits to my spine and head. I just left the appointment and it was interesting. The first doctor said, I haven't heard much about your case. It seems a bit strange to me. I'm going to send you to the doctor with more experience, the one who's right next door. He asked me to go with the nurse, changed my ticket, and then I saw a more senior, experienced doctor. He immediately did some physical exams, checked my arm, and then sent me to get some x-rays. So now we're going back. The consultation and the 2 x-rays were actually pretty affordable. They charged me 200 yen, which is about 500 and something pesos. And getting the x-ray will probably be really quick too. Let's see how long it takes. It's 3:09 right now. Well, I'm just leaving and I'm impressed with how little time I had to wait. It's 3:18 and it took us longer to walk here than we actually had to wait, because honestly, it was nothing. They didn't give me protective clothing and I'm not sure if that's normal protocol. They took images of my chest and back and I noticed there's even a small cap there. Oh well, I hope I didn't get too much radiation. Now I have to wait an hour for them to interpret the results and then go back to see the doctor directly. I can't believe it. It's 3:40 and I just received a text message telling me that my results are already ready. I mean, it's only been 20 minutes. And the best part is that we can print them here. All we have to do is scan this. My name already shows up here and it prints them automatically. Now I have to go back to see the doctor so he can tell me what's wrong with me. Well, I already translated my report and it doesn't sound good at all. It says here that I have a straight cervical spine, which isn't normal despite what people might think. A healthy cervical spine has a natural curve. A straight spine indicates poor posture. It also notes visible bone changes on the edges of my C3, C4, C5 and C6 vertebrae that could indicate wear or the formation of small bone spurs known as osteophytes. I don't know what that is. It also notes reduced space between the C3, C4, C5 and C6 vertebrae indicating degeneration of the intervertebral discs. It also says that there are signs of hypertrophic changes in the thoracic vertebral bodies. The doctor should interpret it, but clearly something was wrong. I'm not crazy and it wouldn't resolve by itself. Hello doctor, I'm back.
You have some problems, but the most serious one is your neck. Your pain comes from the pressure on your chest and your back. You've had hyperplasia and severe pressure for a while.
So it's related to my posture then?
Correct. Your neck is stiff in this area. You have a few issues, but your neck is the main concern.
And this is what causes my back pain.
I'm not surprised.
Great news. He told me that for now, if I do physical therapy, if I take care of myself, if I exercise, and if I get rid of bad posture, or by what he calls postural re-education, I should have a good prognosis. He said the bone structure can't be modified anymore due to irreversible damage, but that you can reach a fairly tolerable level through exercise and therapies. But it's gonna take some time because I've gone years without treatment, and that's a problem I've had my whole life. I played American football in college, and one of the characteristics of this sport is that they teach you not to complain because it's a pretty tough sport and playing is considered an honor. So there, unless you have a bone sticking out or you've broken a leg, the tendency is to keep playing despite the pain. And that's also one of the main causes of my stomach problems. Because back then, every day I would have a drink and take 2 ibuprofen pills before training. But what I didn't know is that ibuprofen is extremely harsh on the stomach, especially when you take it on an empty stomach, which is how I used to take it because I trained at 6 in the morning. So my daily routine was my 2 Actron pills to relieve pain in my back, shoulder and legs so I can play. And even though I don't regret having played American football because it made me the person I am today. It's true that I could have done many things differently that would have improved my quality of life, but well, it's never too late to work on it. The next step is that he sent me to what is known here as Tuina, which you could understand as Chinese massage, but here it's part of medicine. I'm still amazed. I had 2 consultations, x-rays, and my first therapy session today, all in under 2 hours. Incredible. Also notice how this floor, which is more focused on traditional Chinese medicine, has different decorations. And I wish I could convey the smell to you because it really smells like Chinese medicine. It has a scent of bitter herbs. And they also prescribe me Chinese medicine for the pain, but I'll show you that later when I go pick up the medicine. First, let's see how the treatment goes. Look, this is the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine. Tuina is one of the main branches of traditional Chinese medicine, along with acupuncture, herbal therapy, qigong, and dietetics. The word comes from 2 very important characters. The first is tui, which means to push, and the second is na, which means to grasp. It uses pressure, stretching, friction, and manual manipulations to improve the circulation of qi, which in China is known as the vital energy that flows through the body's meridians. According to the theory, the therapist applies different techniques to unblock the qi channels, balance the energy, and stimulate specific organs or areas. The goal is to relieve pain, improve mobility, relax muscles, regulate internal functions, and in general restore the body's balance. You could say it's like a mix between deep massage, physical therapy, and acupressure, but always with the energetic approach of Chinese medicine. My treatment is over, but that's not all. When the massage was over, he went and took out this little bag of something that looked like it came from a rice cooker or a steamer. But it's not just any hot compress, because inside it has more than 21 types of herbs from traditional Chinese medicine, whose purpose is to relieve pain and relax the back. And he told me that I only have a trial session, and if I like it or if I feel relief, I can come back and do it more times. This treatment. Because for it to really have a long-term effect, it's something that needs to be repeated. Another thing is that he prescribed me traditional Chinese medicine, and now we have to pick it up at the hospital pharmacy. I'm telling you, it's incredible. Here they did the x-rays, the therapy, the consultation, and everything in less than 3 hours. It's 5:36. Here are all the medicines they gave me on day one, and there are some pretty interesting ones. For example, these, which at first glance might look like pain relief patches like the ones you can find anywhere, because if you translate, the ingredients are infused with indomethacin and diclofenac sodium, which are quite commonly used in Western medicine. Inside the box, there are also small circles I initially didn't know the purpose of. But it turns out they're magnets that are widely used in traditional Chinese medicine to unblock the meridians, activate local circulation, and reactivate the flow of qi. And it's precisely qi that's the central point of all Chinese medicine, since in this country they believe that qi is the vital flow of the body, and that when there are blockages, discomfort arises. That's why he gave me this magnet that I have to place under the patch with painkiller, to create the perfect mix between treatment for the symptoms and a long-term cure. The second one they prescribed me is this one called Jinshukeli. And basically they're little packets of granules that you dissolve in hot water 3 times a day. These are made with traditional Chinese herbs like angelica, turmeric, cinnamon, saffron, licorice, and even a derivative of cow bile. It sounds odd, but it's common in traditional Chinese medicine. What is it for? Well, apparently this medicine is meant to activate circulation, relieve pain, and reduce inflammation. Let's say it's like the diclofenac of Chinese medicine. And another thing worth mentioning is that the doctor didn't want to prescribe me Chinese medicine because he said I'm probably not used to it, I probably don't believe in it, and it also has a pretty bitter taste. No, this one is terrible, that's why there's so much water, I don't know how I'll drink it. And finally, they prescribed me diclofenac sodium. These are pills, but it's funny because they gave them to me in a little bag. Unlike how they would give them to you in Mexico, where they might send you to buy the box. Here are my, I think it's 10 pills, but for now this is what they prescribed me. See you tomorrow with the next clinic, hospital, or treatment. Very good morning, and today really is a good one. Because I don't remember the last time I woke up without a feeling of tension that goes from the back of my neck down to the middle of my back. Today I feel much fresher, and I don't know if it was the massages, the medicine, or the magnets, but there's definitely an improvement. Even so, to maintain this state, we're going to need long-term treatment. And that's why today we're going to visit the El Chino Traditional Medicine Hospital, and we're going to bring our x-rays as supporting evidence. This hospital is entirely focused on traditional Chinese medicine, unlike the other one. In the other one, only the 7th floor had Chinese medicine treatments, but they're limited since most of the hospital is still a Western medicine hospital. And I'm surprised by how many people there are in this hospital compared to the hospital we went to yesterday. And it's clear that the Chinese have a lot of trust in traditional Chinese medicine. I found it very interesting that at the entrance they asked me if I wanted a high-level specialist doctor or a regular doctor. Obviously I chose the high-level specialist, and I think they gave me the best one of all. Just listen to his description. Chief Physician of the Department of Traumatology and Orthopedics of Traditional Chinese Medicine. He graduated in 1993 from Guangzhou University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, specializing in traumatology. He is an associate professor at the same university and belongs to the second group of outstanding clinical talents in traditional Chinese medicine in Guangdong province. But the most interesting part is that here it specifies that the doctor is a permanent member of the Professional Committee of Innovation in Traumatology and Microsurgery of the Guangdong Society of Integrated Chinese and Western Medicine. He has tremendous credentials. What I don't understand is whether doctors of traditional Chinese medicine also perform surgeries or how it works. So we're going to have to do a little more research on that.
Tell me a little about your pain.
The neck pain is sometimes very intense and other times not so much. It depends on what I'm doing. The worst is when I sit down to work for long periods of time.
Do your arms fall asleep?
No.
How long have you been in pain?
About 3 years.
3 years? Does it hurt if I do this?
Yes, a little.
Okay, does it hurt here?
The muscles on your left side are very stiff.
It's exactly my left side that hurts.
Does your lower back bother you?
No.
How do you feel when walking?
If I walk for a long time, it also starts to hurt.
You feel light.
Lower your head.
Now raise it.
I realize doing this helps me feel better.
It looks like you have fasciitis in your back.
Is it serious?
Your case is quite serious.
He told me I have yin mo yen, which literally means inflammation of the fascia, and the fascia is the connective tissue membrane that surrounds muscles, bones, and organs. In Western medicine, it's called fasciitis, meaning I have fasciitis in my back. He prescribed acupuncture and another tuina session, which is traditional Chinese massage. Look, we've already arrived at the acupuncture department. Where else are you going to see that in another hospital in the world? Excuse me, is this treatment here?
Acupuncture and tuina. Have you already been to tuina?
No, they told me acupuncture first and then the massage.
Well, then sign up first.
It's been a bit more chaotic here than at the hospital we went to yesterday, but that's because there are a lot of people, and for us it's more complicated because we don't have a social security card. So we come and disrupt their system, and we constantly have to be asking where to go, how to go, where to line up.
Straight ahead over there.
Understood, thank you. For the massage, you need to sign up on a board.
What should I call you?
Just shout "Stranjera, Stranjera," and that's it. It's 4:13 now, so let's see when they call us. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Okay. They're about to give me acupuncture. I'm a bit nervous because I almost fainted once when I had electric acupuncture. Let's see what happens now. The ones in the back seem fine. Honestly, the needles didn't hurt much. Do you feel a little prick? Except for a couple, they put in what seemed like a nerve, which made my back jump. And then they connected the little electric current wires. My back started throbbing like it was a heart. On the outside, it probably looked pretty grotesque, but it felt really good. It was like I was exercising my back. And even though I felt a bit of tension and got tired after about 10 or 15 minutes when they took out the needles, I no longer felt the stabbing pain that usually follows me every day of my life. Instead, I felt a kind of tension all over my back, but when I went to the second stage of the treatment, it went away completely. And the second part is tuina, which is the massage. But unlike the one they gave me at the hospital yesterday, this one was much stronger. I actually screamed a few times and even cried just as the doctor warned me before starting. He said, "This will hurt, but you must endure it. And if you feel like it's too much, let me know so I can stop and adjust the pressure, but it's best if you endure it." And it didn't help at all that in the bed next to me, there was a guy screaming so much that I thought he was singing.
Does it hurt a lot?
Yes.
Oh no.
Tuina hurts because you have to unblock the chi channels that are stuck. He started massaging my shoulders, which felt great at first, and I hoped it would last. Then he got rough and it hurt a lot. But probably what surprised me the most was that at the end, he took my head, asked me to relax, and suddenly, I had never been cracked like that before. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I felt every vertebra in my back go back into place. Then it did the same on the other side, and finally it seemed to climb onto the bed, lift me onto its knees and started bouncing, which made all my vertebrae from about the middle of my back down crack one by one. And I don't know how to describe the feeling of release I had at that moment, as if all the tension built up over the last 4 or 5 years was finding a way to escape. And honestly, I feel like I've been reborn.
Move a little. How does your back look?
Wonderful.
Did the pain go away?
Yes, nothing hurts. When I finished, he told Noelia they gave me a new back. but they did warn me that the effects wouldn't last forever. This is a treatment that needs to be followed long term, and you also have to change your posture habits, which is the hardest part. For now, they gave me a hot Chinese medicine compress like the one we saw yesterday. So it's all part of the treatment, but well, we'll see what they prescribe for us tomorrow. Third day of treatment, and I have to say I feel better than ever, but now I'm a little sore. Not because of my pain, but because they truly went all out on me yesterday during the massage, and that's why on the third day we can't do another massage at that level, because that would be torture and probably wouldn't be beneficial. So today we're going to try a different treatment, which is known as moxibustion, or in Mandarin Chinese, Eiju. The good thing is that conveniently right across from our house there's a new shop that specializes precisely in this. Hello, I'm here for moxibustion. It's my first time. My Chinese medicine doctor told me it can help with the pain. Do you know what it is?
Of course. So moxibustion on the back, right?
Yes, on the back.
Okay, it lasts an hour.
Oh, don't burn me. If they're careless, they drop some ash and end up making a hole in your back. Aiju is a Chinese therapy that applies therapeutic heat to specific points on the body using a plant called Artemisia. Artemisia is usually dried, rolled up like a cigar or a cone, lit and brought close to the skin without touching it. According to traditional Chinese medicine, this helps to dispel cold and dampness accumulated in the body and improves the flow of qi, which is the foundation of Chinese medicine. Even from a Western medicine perspective, this offers many benefits because it helps relax the nervous system, improves superficial circulation, and helps reduce muscle spasms. Let's say it's like a kind of hot compress, but in this case, Artemisia is used because in this country they believe it has many medicinal benefits. I have to be very honest, I was actually skeptical about this kind of therapy, so I did some research. And although they didn't find scientific evidence that Artemisia has the properties they claim it has in Chinese medicine, if it's true that heat therapy is a fundamental part of recovering from a chronic injury like mine, then I think at the end of the day, if the Chinese are right, it benefits me. And if not, it still does. So it's worth doing the... Hello, I feel solid comfort.
No, after a while you're going to start sweating a lot.
No, I'm already sweating. Oh, subscribe. I'm not going to lie, I'm really hot, and it's like it's progressive. At first it feels really comfortable. You start to fall asleep, you feel calm, but then the heat keeps increasing until it turns into a human sauna. And right now I feel like I'm melting, but I can't move or scratch my face. First, my hands can't reach, and second, I'm covered in hot herbs. If I move, I might get burned. But I feel relief in my back right now. That was good, man. Things are all laughter and fun, or sleep and peace, until the brutal heat begins. There came a point when I really felt like I was burning a little, so we had to move the grass or whatever was there, but honestly, it's very relaxing, and now my back really feels like new. But interestingly, he warned me that since I lost a lot of fluids and because of the sudden temperature change, I could potentially get sick if I don't cover up well. You can shower, use air conditioning, or be exposed to wind. And in Chinese medicine and culture, cold is very bad for the body. That's why they don't drink liquids with ice like we do in the West. They usually drink all their water hot. And it has even become a kind of joke among foreigners. We say that for every problem, hot water is the solution. But in general, I think it is very useful. I definitely recommend getting the Aiju because it really relaxes your muscles, and I wish it was already time to sleep, but no, we still have a surprise for you. What we've done so far is treat the symptoms, but now the recovery part begins, and the most important part is postural re-education. And for that, the doctor recommended that I buy this machine that creates a separation between my vertebrae to allow the cushions in between to breathe. I remember that the doctor told me I have to hang here for periods of 5 to 10 minutes 3 times a day. And then I have to do a series of 4 exercises that look pretty simple, but honestly they get really hard after a few repetitions. But anyway, let's say this episode is the beginning of a long road to recovery that I have ahead of me. And in a few months, I'll share the results with you so you can see for yourselves if it's worth using Chinese medicine or not. In my case, I think it is. The results have been phenomenal. But if you're interested in learning a bit more about Chinese medicine, I recommend this other video where Noelia and I try out other types of therapies that are very interesting. And I can tell you in advance that Noelia ended up buried in a bed of sand. See you in the next video. Zaijian.